Welcome back for another episode of Trucker Talk Radio Behind the Wheelhouse. Of course, my name's Justin, and I appreciate you joining us for another great episode today. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our main sponsor, Ready App, for supporting today's episode. At Ready App, we're focused on helping drivers and carriers build a stronger connection through verified identities, digital tools, and innovative solutions designed specifically for trucking. Just like today's guest is bringing new ideas to drivers' comfort and life on the road, we're excited to support innovators who are helping make trucking better. Let's be honest, every driver listens to the show knows one thing. Getting good sleep on the road matters. And stay cool during the summer months can be challenging. And I promise you, I went walking at 5:30 this morning and I sweated 4 buckets of sweat before I got done. It's hot out there right now, especially for owner operators and drivers who don't want to idle their trucks all night long. Today's guest is helping new solutions to that problem. Sean Mathews recently joined Zero Breeze Tech, a company bringing battery-powered portable air conditioning solutions to commercial trucking, cargo vans, hot shots, RVs, and any other mobile lifestyle. Now, if you spend any time on LinkedIn, you know that Sean brings a little humor, a lot of personality, and plenty of experience from logistics, brokerage, and operation. Sean, welcome to Behind the Wheelhouse.
Thanks, Justin, for having us. And again, we're flattered that you folks want to host us. I think we connected randomly on one of the comments on a post on LinkedIn. And I just threw a joke out there, man. It's tough over there in California. Man, I used to be broker and freight. And a lot of the times you got a random truck to send out there. Half the phone calls, you're like, hell no, I ain't going to California. Yeah. And a lot of those no idle policies, the green policies, it just makes it difficult, especially if you're running older equipment. Yep. And, the reason why that came up to mind is because, the folks at Zero Breeze, they just randomly find out, man, we sell most of our stuff randomly in the state of California. It's not even that hot over there. What's going on? And so, yeah, you pull up one of those no idle signs, $2,000 fine. And that's kind of the reasoning we found out and settled on. But yeah, happy to talk about, my background. I did mess around on social media a lot, just like you folks, and just happy to share some information that will help your audience and tell you what we're doing over here.
Hey drivers, our partners over at Zero Breeze have designed a no-idle air conditioner for sleeper cabs and fleets that can pay for itself in just one summer. If you're spending up to $40 a night in fuel, it's time to stop idling and start saving. For $50 off, email sales@zerobreeze.com or text them at 945-247-1298. And don't forget to ask them about their extended warranty option. Check them out today at zerobreeze.com. Yeah, no, we appreciate it. I know my trucking audience will appreciate the product. I had the Texas president of Trucking Association on a week ago, and we were talking about how difficult it is for drivers on the road and why, trying to get this next generation of driver to sign up, right? And, they park places that don't have bathrooms, their bed and their refrigerators right there together. And, then they have to idle, everybody's on them all the time. Save, don't run your battery down. Don't burn your fuel up. And, for an owner operator too, that little bit of margin makes a big difference when your margins are so thin. But before we get into the product, let's jump into your background some. How did you get into transportation? I know you said you did, before we got on the show, you did a little brokering back in the day. So you've been in the trenches then.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the trenches as far as, being an owner operator, doing your pre-trips and strapping cargo down safely and being safe. But I have been in the ring with those folks, and I'm going to be frank. I started out at one of those, probably the most hated brokerage out there on the market, TQL. The story was I was still in the restaurants, bartending, doing restaurant stuff, and I met my wife, not my wife yet at that point, but I knew, man, I better get a real job if I want to maybe marry her, which I did 6 years later.
Congratulations.
So I just applied to every sales job I could find, and TQL shot me the offer. I got my crash course degree in sales and trucking and logistics, and I've kind of always stayed in that industry ever since. TQL, they have, I think, some of the best brokerage training, but they are known, to have some bad eggs. But I still think the best brokers you'll see, the number ones in the industry, are going to be at the top of TQL. You just got to find a way to find them, and they do take care of their drivers. I got my training over there. I did kind of branch out. I spent some time learning LTL as a logistics coordinator, and then I had an opportunity to run my own brokerage at a large trucking company here in Houston. I think, Palatized Trucking is known as be about royalty for heavy haul. And one of the things they're known for is there's a museum over here with a space shuttle, and they moved that airplane that carried the space shuttle back in the day. So it's real cool. You go there, you see the photos, all the branding, and I had a chance to help them grow their outsourced logistics, make sure we had great truck drivers carrying that cargo, providing great customer service. And, I learned a whole lot of building relationships there. And honestly, that's when I met the owner of Zero Breeze back in 2022. It was at the Texas Trucking Show, which I'm sure you folks attend, and we'll be there this year up in July. We got a booth, and I just ran into the owner there. He was really trying to figure out how his product would fit in the trucking market. And I was brokering freight, and I had drivers stuck at the Port of Houston for 6 hours waiting around. Hurry up and wait is really the thing over there, because the cranes broke or they're just slow. Now, you talk about the Port of Houston, lines can be about an hour or 2 hours long. And I'm sitting there like, all right, just track your time. We'll pay you detention. I'm inside a trucking company, so I paid every hour detention as long as they help me get my money back from the customers and the shippers. If they didn't do that, they're out of luck. But, you got to do your due diligence as a driver, and that's fair, even as a broker. But again, everybody I worked with understood, and I was very, very transparent. But the thing is, they're still sitting there in the summer. It's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah, I've lived outside of Houston. It's hot as hell there. Yes,
hot and humid.
Yeah.
But I got these guys. It's 2 p.m. It's 90 degrees, 99 degrees, and they're stuck in their truck waiting for my cargo to be ready to get off the port. And some of it's really big crates that need to be permitted, and they're just sitting there. And I'm talking to them like, man, like, what do? You leave your AC on? Like, how do you just sit? Are you burning a gallon of fuel an hour? And like, yeah, that's what we're doing. What else are we going to do? And that just stuck in my mind back there while I'm running this brokerage. And every day I got 4 or 5 drivers stuck at the port. I'm like, this is stupid. Why don't they have something for this? And I run into the owner of Zero Breeze. His name's actually Sean as well. And he's just at the Texas Trucking Show with his silly little battery-powered air conditioning system. I'm like, what the hell is that? And I just chat with him like, how come I've never heard about you? This sucker would be awesome for detention, and it would work. And then he talks to me. He's like, it's not just for detention. You got drivers parked out. Maybe they're using Truck Parking Club, which is a great company. They're solving problems. They were on your show not too long ago.
Yep.
You got drivers trapped in those parking lots, or they're driving over the road and they're waiting, and they don't have an APU. And they just leave their truck on all night in the summer just to stay cool. They have to. It's comfort. It's safety. I mean, you can overheat real fast. You can't sleep at night. If you don't get a good night's sleep, how are you going to drive safely in the morning?
Exactly.
So, as I just speak with these guys at Zero Breeze, it's like, yeah, you got a really good idea here. And I find out they actually invented it in 2016 with a Kickstarter, and they've just been growing from there. And I love connecting with folks who have the first product in a niche, or they are the number one folks or the top 1%. Because these days, I've had my own journey with entrepreneurship, starting businesses, and I respect a lot of the folks who are leading the charge and innovating. And we've always kept in touch, and then I just they reached out to me asking for help because they don't understand the vocabulary. Truckers aren't really friendly with outsiders. And they need help bridging that gap. So that conversation started, and they brought me on, and now I'm helping them get the messaging right, making sure the product's right, make sure they got the right accessories that truckers need to actually use the product, so it's not forced on them, and they actually get value. So, that's kind of what the journey's been like. I mean, I've had experience on social media. I've kind of been the funny guy. That's usually my brand. A joke is the best icebreaker and the best way to start a conversation. And, I did some work with Carry Defender where we were working to address reputation management for drivers. You got some brokers writing fake or exaggerated reviews. Yes. And I worked with Alex Bates on that, great guy. But I did finish my journey with them. I think my influence kind of maxed out. It's been a great journey. Life is a journey. Learning a lot. and I'm excited to be with these folks. And I hope to see some of your folks at the Texas Trucking Show. At least you, Justin. I think you'll be there, right?
Yeah. Well, my whole team from Ready App, we're going to be there all weekend, and I might actually even go a day or two before. I've got a few things that I've got working. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. I look forward to seeing the product in person. I
You need
think
to.
I think it's great because driver comfort. You made great points. I mean, the safety side of it. If you sleep good, I mean, that's what I always try to explain to people that don't know trucking, and I try to explain the clocks. Yes, they have to take a 10-hour break. They're not sleeping 10 hours. But if they can get a good 6 hours of good sleep, they're good. So kind of give us some how it works. Does it where does it plug in? Just kind of go through that, and then we'll get into like fuel savings and idling and all that.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's a 5,280 BTU air conditioning system. That's the amount of cooling you get. It will cool a small cab at night, mostly for nighttime use. The
Right.
sun beating on a truck, that's about 7,000 BTU of heating. You're not going to overpower that with a small AC unit. I mean, maybe it'll cool your body, but that's kind of the most common misunderstanding we get from folks. I mean, the sun's probably one of the most
Yeah.
powerful heating sources out there.
Absolutely.
The results we get for folks who have a reverse schedule where they drive at night and they sleep in the day, I mean, you can try to use it, but it's really not going to be as effective. If for folks who want to get the most out of this, it's a nighttime system,
Mhm.
and it'll cool your cab when you're sleeping at night.
Awesome.
But yeah, we manufactured and designed it back in 2000. Of their first version in 2016. The latest version is the third version that we have this year, and it comes with batteries that we also manufacture. For truckers, we usually recommend the 2 battery system, and so with 2 batteries, you'll get a full night, about 10 hours of cooling.
Right.
That'll have you sleeping throughout the night. For sleeper cabs, they're usually equipped with some wall outlets. So our system will plug into that, and you'll drive your daily schedule, and it'll charge up those batteries in about 6 hours of driving, and then
Uh-huh.
you'll use them at night to sleep, and you'll do that cycle. So you're great for kind of day and night. You're really not going to get a full reset out of this if you're sleeping out over the weekend. So you want to keep that in mind. But again, that's kind of the angle we're hitting with, uh, and it works. And we've got tons of material over YouTube. Watch out if you do click our website, because then you'll get hit with massive YouTube ads all over the place. But we do. I mean, our season is a summer, right? If you're going to buy an air conditioning cooling product, you will in the summer. And we do invest heavily in that marketing strategy as well. But again, it just maintains our position. I mean, we invented the system, and we want to make sure we stay as the number one solution these days for self-install nighttime cooling solutions for the folks driving over the summer.
Well, and I think a few things you said there is really important. It's
Yeah.
self-install. A lot of drivers, they hate having to take a day off to go into a
Yeah.
shop somewhere to get something hooked up. I hear that all the time with ELDs before they really become a handheld. Oh, do I have to come in and get it wired up, tear my dash up? I don't, especially the older trucks, they don't want their stuff messed with. So that's a great thing. The charging in 6 hours, it seems really great because then that's plenty of time to get it charged, while you're driving. So there's to me, it's a win-win for everybody because the drivers again need the comfort. They need to be able to rest. And so, what about the fuel savings? Do y'all have some kind of data of like how much they burn in a week's time versus what they would spend on the machine itself?
Yeah, I had a visit up to Colorado not too long ago to American Truck Centers. They're a used truck dealership. And they
Okay.
were looking at getting some nighttime sleeping solutions for their used truck sales, and we ran some numbers with them. So a current truck, a sleeper cab, if you're leaving it idling overnight, you're going to spend about 6 to 10 gallons of diesel just to
Hmm.
run that. You're looking at diesel prices. I think they were pretty high not too long ago. They might be coming down now, but I mean, you're looking at either 40 to 60 bucks every night just to keep your truck cool. And you map that out over an entire summer. That's a lot of money. That's a few $1,000s.
Right.
So we've noted like, wow, we randomly find out, man, why is 30% of our sales? We're not even a trucking product. I think 2 years ago, the owners did some analysis. We started as a camping for tents, cooling tents down, or maybe an RV. And now we're like, okay, like the 30% of our clients ordering online, they're trucking this, trucking that, ABC logistics. Let's look into this. And it's really like they're saving the most money out of anybody. It's a commercial use. There's direct money savings and fuel costs. And then if you look at maintenance of running that engine overnight and the damage that does over time, I mean, the savings massive. And the product, again, assuming you get it in the beginning of the summer and you work in hot states, or you have some shipping lanes that do pass through Florida, or they do pass through South Texas, you're going to get your money back in one summer, in 3 months.
Absolutely.
And so you're still probably going to be using it sometime in August, maybe a little bit in September. It really depends. So it's really a no-brainer from the folks we've talked to. We're really looking forward to starting more relations with used truck dealerships, maybe even other folks. But having a system like this, it's a business decision, and the numbers really do make sense. And you apply that to, we have a 4-year extendable warranty that you can add on. I don't know how long we're going to keep doing it, because it's only like $249, but you do that for 4 years and the system keeps working. We're basically putting money in your pocket, or we're paying you to use us. So, I mean, I don't know. I have these conversations and I get really excited about how we're going to bring something useful to the industry. I know there's APU systems that are also great. I understand those can be very expensive, and they're going to take your truck out of operation. And we have something that a driver can put into his truck in 30 minutes.
That's the thing. And I'm surprised that you're not having more luck, and maybe you just hadn't been able to get in front of enough. The fleet, this should be ideal for fleets because it's cost effective. You don't have to keep the truck out of the shop for a day or two. If they can, I mean, realistically, probably here in the South, you could run that machine for 5 to 7 months, realistically, because it's warm enough here where I live in Tennessee in October that I would still be running it more than likely. And then, probably late April into May is when you would probably start, wanting, especially because most people love it cold as they can get it when they're sleeping. I do, I turn my air way down. I burn up during the day in the house, and then at night, I try to freeze myself out. Yeah. But it's a no-brainer for fleets to really look at this, because if you can get even if you're a trucking company and you break even in 2 years, and and based off your numbers, you'll have it paid for in a year. So just look at it this, truck folks. If it took you 2 years to get your money back, and your driver is happy, because that is a recruiting tool that you can give to a driver, or to keep a driver. If you got a driver that's done a good job, you insert one, you hand it to him. You don't have to do no installation, and he's good for 6 months of the year. I mean, it's just a win-win, and it's, like I said, it puts basically money back into their pocket, and your driver's happy. So, I mean, fleet owners that are out there, for a small amount of money, you keep your drivers happy. If your drivers are happy, the more freight you're going to be able to haul, which is more money for your company. That's for sure. What does a unit like this cost?
Yeah, so for the AC system itself, it's $12.99. Some people buy that package if they have their own battery system. I mean, drivers outkit their trucks any way they want. They'll have a power bank, they'll have whatever. This thing can connect to that. If you don't have that, we do have our batteries that can connect to it. From what I've done, if you're looking at some detention and you're like a local guy, but you wait around a lot, maybe one battery will be good for you. It's only gonna last 2 to 7 hours. If you're doing the day, it's really going to last only 2 hours at max power, cooling just you. So you got to keep that in mind. It's really best use at nighttime. But if you're sleeping with it, you're going to need 2 batteries to last the whole night and get a full night of sleep. Each battery there comes in a combo. It's about $600 on top, each battery. So for the AC unit and 2 battery combo, you're looking at $24.99.
That's not bad at all. Not for comfort. And you're burning, like I said, $40 a night in fuel. Yeah, it doesn't take very long to get your money back, and then you got that product every year after. So yeah, that's not bad. And the battery system seems to be pretty legit on time. Yeah, I agree. If you're running it high, you're not going to get as much time, but you don't. If you do it in the evening hours, I would assume you don't need it wide open, of course, because it's a small area. Once you get it cool, it'd probably run you out of there.
Yeah, you set the temperature out. I mean, the air coming out of that vent is 30 degrees colder than what is outside. So if you set it to the temperature, what, 74, 73, whatever you like, it'll get to that temperature and then it'll reduce the power uh, take. So it'll last longer. But one thing that we always tell everyone to do, make sure you use the truck AC to pre-cool the trailer. If you have this sucker cool from zero, I mean, when it's like real hot in your bunk, it's going to eat up all that power just to bring the temp. It's not going to do it that great either. And then you're not going to get a full night out of it. So pre-cool with your current system. Because you got to keep in mind that air conditioning system in a truck, it's got about 4 times the cooling power as this unit. This unit's great, but 20,000 BTU out of a truck's AC is really powerful. That's why you're so comfortable when you drive, when the sun's beating down on you in a black truck. Again, we try to get our messaging better. That's something we're learning as a company, just so that people know exactly what our product's best used for. And that's one of the reasons they brought me on, to get that down. I'd rather folks not walk into a situation where they don't know why they're not getting the results that were shared, but that's going to be just the recommended use case that we always push all the time, nighttime use.
What kind of feedback have you gotten from drivers?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a fleet up in Idaho who's been buying another set every summer as they grow. They got about 18 trucks.
Nice.
I'm still trying to get the information on what lanes they've been running, but they do a lot of cattle. They may have some drivers sitting around, but they've been really happy with the system. I had a small conversation with the owner, and they're getting the results that they want. Up in California, we're talking with a lot of trucker folks, and it's really like, hey, we just use it to stay cool because we can't keep the engine on, and we don't have a clean idle system. It's an older truck. We're getting feedback all over the place, and we're hoping to get more and more as we go. The thing is, a lot of these drivers, they're ordering online, so we don't really have a way to ask them, like, what do you think? They're just not returning it, and it's like, okay, well, at least they liked it, and that's a good sign. But I did want to mention one thing, because as a backup, I don't want your viewers to get the wrong idea, because there's two ways to use the system. One of the ways is having a window adapter, where you have to vent out the hot air out of any AC system. So you're putting vents out the window. You can't do that while you drive. DOT is going to pull you over, and you're going to get hit with a failure or an inspection, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were talking, and again, American Truck Centers, the owner of that company, they're up in Commerce City, Colorado. If you're anywhere over there, they'll show you how the system works. But they've been thinking about better ways to get the system to work. So they got their mechanics cutting vent holes in the system so that the system can run, and the driver doesn't have to fumble with a window adapter every morning to remove it before he can drive, and put it up every night, which is a pain. Maybe an owner operator would do that because it's his truck and he's saving $60 every night. That's worth it to him. He'll waste 5 minutes day and night to get it done. But you talk about an employee driver who signed up to work with you for a paycheck, and he wants to be the most important part of your company, and you don't want him to deal with any headaches like that. He's probably not going to want to deal with crap right when he parks his truck at night. He wants to leave his engine on. So we've been brainstorming those problems. So I don't know. But yeah, if you're going to use it as a backup AC and your system's failed, and you can't really use the AC unit on the road, but because of the vents, unless you do have some holes cut in. But maybe you look up some folks like American Truck Centers, and you maybe get some information from them, or maybe you plan a pit stop over there, and they can kind of look at your truck and see where they can put this in, and the appropriate vent holes, where you can strap this to the passenger seat and have it blow on you. It's really up to you. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that's clear, so we don't have any people next week saying, I can't do what you said on the video, right?
Exactly. But no, you're right. Well, and two, it's the feedback you get. It's the technology changes year to year. Things like that will continue to get better. But I do think even company drivers, which some company drivers are hard to deal with, for comfort, it's worth 5 minutes of dealing with, fixing your little window deal every day. I agree. The owner operators do it because if they're saving $60, because you just think about that for a second. 64, let's just make it $50 a day at just, if they're home every weekend, that's $250 a week they're saving. And then you add on, a couple thousand a year of, preventative maintenance that you're not having to get into the shop, because not only do you have to put the truck in the shop, then you're not working for a few days. So I mean, yeah, you can easily pay it back within a year's time. And the great thing is, even though we're a trucking show, it can be used for a lot of things. I mean, this would be great for campers.
Mhm.
This product is great for camping, for just the RV people, the retired people, and realistically, you think about it, it might actually be a year time product for the RV market. I assume you could, can you, as long as you've in it, I mean, you could use it in your home, right? Like if you had a room that was just very hot.
I mean, we get some folks who do that. It can be a backup situation
Mhm.
where if your AC goes out, you can use this while you wait for the repair guy to show up. Honestly, probably one of the most valid backup use cases for our truck drivers. We got a lot of mechanics who really like the product. So, I
Okay.
mean, I've got some really cool photos, but I found out, apparently some NASCAR teams, they'll get one of our battery powered AC systems so that the mechanics who are trapped underneath the car doing some work, and it's hot in the garage, right? I mean, you're talking
Yeah.
about the summer and you're trapped. I mean, a lot of our drivers know what it's like to be trapped under a vehicle, do your own work on your own truck, and it'd be
Mhm.
like 95 degrees outside in the summer, and you're
Yep.
just going to sweat it out. It sucks. And if you're in Florida where it's maximum humidity, it's actually dangerous to be working on something outside at 95 degrees. You will get heat stroke. Your sweat stops
Absolutely.
working, you're going to overheat. So we got folks, they take their system out of the house, out of the camper, out of the RV, out of your semi truck, prop it out. And when you're doing some work, there's a vent tube. You can aim it at your body, and man, you're going to be comfortable outside for 30 minutes to an hour, maybe 2 hours, just working on your equipment, and you're going to be fine. You'll be comfortable. So that's definitely something that we do find a use case for that maybe the audience would think is valuable. I
Yeah.
mean, shoot, I don't know. Maybe some of these owner operators or these small fleets, they got a garage area that has no air conditioning whatsoever and it's completely open to the environment. Maybe you're losing your mechanics because of that.
That's right.
That's a safety issue. This sucker might be that solution. But I am careful saying, bring it in your house because you'll find some portable stuff at Walmart. I think they're like what, $500, maybe less.
Mhm.
That'll do the job. And I don't tell nobody. Truckers, it's already tough out there as it is.
Yeah.
I heard the market's pretty tight, so I don't tell nobody to overspend when you don't have to. Those units won't really fit in a truck, but they'll fit in your house. Make a pick stop to Walmart, get one, you'll be good. They'll be a little bit more powerful per dollar, but if you need
Mhm.
something that has batteries available, ready to go,
All right.
that has everything set up and is plug and play for 30 minutes and you're done, and it's not going to roll around by accident in your truck, we got a great system. It's proven and it pays for itself. And so, but I
Well,
do want to make sure the drivers are taken care of. Again, I come from a
well,
background where I took care of the drivers. I always
mhm.
treat my drivers right, and I don't need to pull no wool over no one's eyes. I mean, if this product will give you some pay for stuff for you, get it.
Yeah,
But if it won't,
absolutely.
don't.
So we have, I appreciate you coming on the show to give that information about the product. Hopefully we can find you some people here on the show that'll reach out to you. I look forward to meeting you in person in a couple weeks. But before I let you go, give everybody your information, how to get in touch with you or how to, get to see the product.
All right. Yeah. So we've got a website, zerobreeze.com. You'll get quite a bit of information on there. You will need to find the trucking page because, again, we sell this into a lot of different industries: RV,
Mhm.
camping, boats, airplanes. Now we're doing golf. But there's going to be a
I do
pretty
think that
obvious
is
trucking page. So make sure you click that, do some research on our product, and then I can be reached. Hopefully, we can get my email somewhere in here.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be Sean Mathews at zerobreeze.com. Hopefully we can keep the spelling here because you can misspell my first name and my last name. Been living that with my whole life. It sucks. But yeah, Sean Mathews at zerobreeze.com. You can shoot me an email. I'm usually pretty quick at getting back. Hopefully you're not spamming too many people so you don't show up in my spam folder. But if you do, I'm sure you can reach out to Trucker Talk Radio and they'll get you
Yeah,
to me.
absolutely.
Again, we invented the battery powered AC system. That's portable back in
Mhm.
2016. So we've really spent a lot of time engineering this, coming up with accessories. If you got some ideas on something we can do with the product, we will build it if people will buy it and if they need it. So, and we did come out with that window adapter just for truckers this summer. And I actually hit that with the owners. Like, hey, we got adapters for vans. Like, we need something people can cut out to fit their window by themselves, so they can fit it to their own truck. Because you've got so many different models: Mack, Peterbilt, Volvo, Freightliner. So something that's useful for everybody. And then maybe down the road, if we do get some traction, we may just build a custom situation for a model truck if it's going to be high volume. But yeah, definitely reach out to us. I've been doing customer service my whole life, and I can really, I'll answer questions or provide feedback, whatever you need. And if you're driving down south and you got lanes down south, this is something that will pay for itself. If all you do is drive up in Montana and Canada, probably don't really need it. So, you might use it 2 weeks out of the year. I don't know if that's going to get enough value to you. It's up to you if you think it's a cool product.
Right.
But again, I tell people, like, it's really for if you're operating in the hot states, you got to sleep and it's hot at night. That's where this product will put money back in your pocket. And that's where I think this is going to be one of the best products in the industry.
Yeah, I agree. If you're running the Southwest or the Southeast or South Texas, yeah, you can get 7 to 8 months to 9 months probably use out of it, and it's going to help your safety scores. It's going to help your driver's comfort. It's going to help retention. So there's a lot of benefits. Not only is it going to get your money back and then save after year one. Sean, again, I sure do appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on and talking about Zero Breeze. The whole story about the product. It is a great product. I think I'm looking forward to seeing it in person. I look forward to hopefully helping you get some customers in because I do think it's a great product. And everybody, we appreciate you watching us as always. Check out all our different social media pages, like, follow, share. Sean, again, thank you for your time today, and we'll see y'all next time on Behind the Wheelhouse. Today's episode is sponsored by Gray Cross. Every day, professional drivers make sacrifices that most people never see. Long hours, missed holidays, time away from family, and the responsibility of keeping America's supply chain moving. Gray Cross was created to support those drivers and their families when life takes an unexpected turn. By providing assistance, resources, and support during the difficult times, Gray Cross helps strengthen the trucking community one family at a time. Because behind every truck is a driver. Behind every driver is a family counting on them. If you'd like to support the mission, visit graycross.org to learn more. Donations are always appreciated, but simply sharing their message with others in the industry can make a tremendous difference. Gray Cross, supporting the people who keep America moving. Today's episode is brought to you by ReadyApp. Trust is the one most valuable asset in transportation. That's why ReadyApp created Driver Verify. Driver Verify helps carriers, brokers, and transportation companies gain greater confidence through verified driver identities, professional credentials, work history, and onboarding visibility. Drivers can securely maintain CDL information, endorsements, certifications, and employment records all in one professional profile. As fraud continues to impact the transportation industry, verification has never been more important. ReadyApp, verified drivers, trusted freight. Go check them out at ready-app.com.